name is Caleaf, Ramir Sellers. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. I'm otherwise known as Big Leaf or Loose Leaf. I've been dancing professionally for 26 years. I've been basically sharing this dance culture all around the world. I'm affiliated with a dance crew called Mop Top, and I'm also a part of another team called Dance Fusion. Well, I got started in dance. My key inspiration is my mom, and she's the one that started me. She started me from the age of 3. Professionally, it was Rosie Perez. Rosie Perez was actually scouting for a music video for Diana Ross. She came to a club where me and my friends used to frequent every Wednesday called The Tunnel, and she asked us to come to an audition. I went to the audition. I made the audition, and the rest is kind of history for me. Growing up in the hip-hop culture, the scene for us was the park. If there was a jam, if it was someone's birthday, or someone got married, or someone had a baby shower, people would bring out the speakers, bring out their equipment, and play the music. And for us, that was a scene like in our neighborhood. We had a party, a celebration. And then that celebration went from the park to someone's house, from someone's house to, when we got old enough, we can go to clubs and go out and party. And so that's when we got exposed to what the club scene was all about. Back then, we went to the clubs, 1, to look for girls, and 2, to dance with them and maybe get a number. As opposed to now, where people go out, they go out to dance in a circle and to have all the eyes on them. And so it was a lot of fun back then, and it seemed like there was a lot more people coming to really enjoy themselves. The people that inspire me are the people that I'm with to this day. Buddha Stretch, Emilio Austin Jr., he's one. Henry McMillan is another. We call him Link. And another guy by the name of Peter Paul. These 3 people are very important to me. They kind of like helped me evolve into the person I am today. When I think about them and I see all the things that they've accomplished, it makes me work even harder. And it's just amazing that we're still doing it, because most people stop. I can put it to you this way. I had a dream. And my dream, I thought I was going to play in the NFL. I was a pretty good high school player. I was good in college. I went to college to play football. I wasn't able to make it to a D1 school. My grades wasn't good enough. And then my mother didn't have money to keep me in junior college where I could make the next step. She didn't have money to pay for me to go to prep school. So that energy that I put into sports, I took that energy and I put it into dance. And when I had to leave school, I came back and I got a regular job. And like I said, when I ran into Rosie, I didn't know that that was going to change my life. I didn't know that she would introduce me to movies and into music videos. She asked me and Link, Henry McMillan, she asked us if this was something that we wanted to do as a career. Like, do you guys want to do this? And we were like, with our eyes wide open, like, yeah, we want it. And she said, okay, don't worry about it. And so she started to give us work. And she basically kind of started us on our way. And we didn't know that that would be our career, you know. We thought that maybe it would be a couple of jobs. And that's it, because in this industry, you only work from job to job, especially if you're working commercially. See, now we work for ourselves. It's different. But back then, before YouTube, before the internet boom and everybody's getting all this success from the internet, you're basically as good as the last thing you did. There's one more person I forgot to mention, and that's Diane Martell. She did a documentary with us in 1992 called Wrecking Shop, and that also kind of helped us in our career after music videos and touring with artists. We didn't know that doing that documentary with her for free, you know, we were just young kids clowning around, that it would inspire so many people all around the world to want to dress like us, act like us, want to be us. We didn't know that we would influence so many people. We were just talking about the way life was for us and how it was going to the clubs at that time in the early 90s. And it went as far as people in Japan, people all over Europe, people in Russia, South America, Africa, Australia. Everyone has seen the documentary, and to this day, I work because of the documentary. Don't think you know everything. But my grandmother used to always say that. You can learn something from nothing. Always be humble. I find that in this industry, a lot of people, they're not humble. I think that since I had those values instilled in me, and that kind of helped me to this day. That's why I still work. And I know that there's some people that don't work because they haven't learned. Being a teacher is a responsibility. And some people, that's hard for them to learn. They see the money as opposed to, like, when you teach, you're learning. Okay, you might have your curriculum set, you might have what you're going to teach to the students, everything is already set. But when you get into class, it's a different story because you're dealing with other people and you don't know how they're going to take this information you're trying to share with them. So now, on the spot, you have to be able to change. You have to be able to adapt to the people that you're teaching. If you're not able to adapt, then they're not going to get your message and you're wasting their time. 1993, when I went to Osaka, first time I went to Japan, I was blown away. Blown away. I didn't think, because, I mean, we were under the impression that we were the best dancers in the world and there was no one else that can do what we do. So, you know, you kind of walk around with a big head for a while, and then there's someone that comes with a little pen and just takes the air out. So when we saw how many people were influenced and how many people were inspired and how many groups that they had at the show, I think we judged the showcase and it was like 50 groups. And I just kept on looking at Pete like, I can't believe it, there's another group. And they're good. There's another group. And they're good. You know, that kind of blew us away. And it humbled us and it made us actually practice harder. So I think, yeah, at 93 for me. Well, there's just the negative stigma that comes along with urban youth, with people who come from the projects, from low-income housing, you know, so most people look at us as these ignorant people that are coming in and we just only think one way, you know, and yeah, it's unfortunate. But when they get a chance, the opportunity to sit and talk with us, they realize that everyone is individuals and you should judge people as individuals and not as a group. And they have a certain view of the city. I mean, now Brooklyn is the place to be. But when I was traveling, and when I first started to travel, everybody was scared to death to come to Brooklyn, just to give you an example. And so they all had this idea of what to expect when you come to Brooklyn, and it's not what they thought it would be. The thing that helped it evolve is what Bruce Akanji did in Paris with Just Debout. I think it helped it evolve really quickly because he brought the stand-up dance and on a competition level, on a big scale, on a large scale in Bercy, where everyone can see the dance. And so when everyone got the opportunity, he started in a small gym first, and eventually it grew and it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to where now it's the biggest dance event in the world. Before that, a lot of people didn't really pay attention to the other styles, like locking, popping, or hip-hop, or house. They thought it was all breakdancing. They thought it was all one dance. And now they see that there are a lot of different genres. It also kind of broadened people's horizons as far as like what type of music people kind of gravitate to for different styles of dance. But then that also kind of hurt too, because now people think if you hear a disco record, you're only supposed to whack or lock to it or do the hustle, but you can't do any other dance. And if you do any other style, they're like, oh, wait, what are you doing? And I don't know, I'm quite sure when the artists made the music, they just wanted to make good music. They didn't make the music just for you to do a certain type of style to the music. If I'm having fun with you and we're in the cipher, as we call it, or in the circle dancing with one another, we're going to exchange information if we're having fun because you're not challenging me. If you challenge me, I'm going to revert to what I know because I want to show you what I've been practicing. I don't think there's any way that we can relive what was lived. We can just try to create something for the youth now. And I think that the target is the youth. You have to aim towards the youth and show them a way, give them options, because I don't really I feel like they have too many options, but you have to give them options that's gonna kind of steer them towards having fun as opposed to competing. There needs to be some more love. So if someone can kind of guide them in the direction of love, then maybe the future looks bright.